And we'd like to start with a pledge of allegiance to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to invite our chaplain, Father Hobson, up for a prayer.
Let us pray. Almighty God, we ask you to continue to be with us in a very special way, protect all of our firefighters and first responders and EMTs as we gather together this evening for the swearing in of firefighters Rogers, Gallagher, Gunderman, and Gibbons. We're ever grateful for their service to our community here of Halifax. You always protect them, good and good health of body, mind, and soul. We ask this in your mighty and loving name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Father. Good evening. My name is Jason Rivera. I'm the fire chief in the town of Halifax, and I'd like to welcome you all tonight for our promotional / swearing-in ceremony for our new firefighters. I'd like to thank the board for having us here tonight and for the support they've given our department over the years. It's because of their support that we're able to provide our firefighters with the state-of-the-art equipment that will keep them safe. To the families who came out tonight to support our members, I thank you. Being a firefighter requires hard work and dedication. You're required to spend countless hours away from your family training and responding to incidents. As my wife will tell you, we're generally called at a moment's notice and almost always at the most inopportune time. No firefighter would be successful in their career without the support and encouragement of their family. As I prepared my notes tonight, one thing stood out in my mind, and it was experience. As a department, we've been known for our professionalism, training, positive morale, and a whole host of other attributes. One area, though, where we've historically lacked is inexperience. Tonight, as you will see, every member that is being promoted or welcomed to our department comes with a whole host of experience, and I'm really proud to say that we welcome them to the town of Halifax and into the new positions. Before we start, we have some people I'd like to recognize. If you guys can stand up in the back. We're missing two, but last Thursday night, fire recruits Quinlan Murdoch, Owen O'Sullivan, who's here with us tonight, Anthony Hardy, who's here with us tonight, and Joseph Rosso, all graduated from the Plymouth County Fire and Rescue Training Association Firefighter 1 and 2 program. These firefighters spend over 6 months of their own time learning the basic skills needed to be a firefighter. They are now scheduled to begin their EMT training in May. I told them when they all first applied that the road to becoming a firefighter was not an easy one, and it would require a great deal of training and personal commitment. I think they realize what I was talking about now. So please join me once again in congratulating these firefighters on a job well done and wishing them well in the next phase of their training. I'd like to ask Deputy Heath and his wife Deb to come up. It is my pleasure to promote Stephen Heath to the rank of Deputy Fire Chief. Deputy Heath has more than 35 years of experience in the fire service. He has an associate's degree in fire science from Massasoit Community College, is a graduate of the Massachusetts Firefighting Academy Recruit Program, and a certified fire officer. He began his career here in Halifax in 1983. He was appointed full-time in 1985. He then moved on and accepted a position with the Kingston Fire Department in 1987 and was promoted to captain in 1994. He He served as a captain in Kingston until his retirement in 2007, at which time he returned here to Halifax to work on a part-time basis. After getting to know Steve, I realized that this department could truly benefit from his knowledge and experience. I watched as he would quietly mentor firefighters and earn the respect from all of whom worked with him. As second in command, Deputy Chief Heath will assist me in managing all aspects of our department. I'd like to ask the Assistant Town Clerk to administer the oath.
Stephen, do you swear to perform the duties incumbent upon you as a Deputy Fire Chief of the Town of Halifax, according to the bylaws of Halifax, the laws of the Commonwealth, your knowledge and abilities, so help you God?
I'd like to ask Lieutenant Joseph Gibbons and his wife Amy to come up. Tonight, Lieutenant Gibbons is being promoted to the rank of lieutenant. He began his career in the fire service as a call firefighter in the town of Kingston back in 2007. In 2014, he joined the Children's Fire Department, where he was promoted to the rank of lieutenant. He has been a paramedic for over 7 years, is a graduate of the Plymouth County Fire Rescue Training Association Firefighter 1 and 2 program, is a certified fire instructor, a certified fire officer, and is on the verge of completing his degree in fire science at Mount Wachusett College. Lieutenant Gibbons has been the type of officer Chief dreams about. He's enthusiastic, a positive role model, and he's not afraid to work right alongside the firefighters he is supervising. I have no doubt that Lieutenant Gibbons will have a very successful career in the fire service, and that this will be the first of many promotional ceremonies for him. I'd like to ask the town clerk to administer the oath.
Joseph, do you swear to perform the duties incumbent upon you as a lieutenant firefighter for the town of Halifax, according to the bylaws of Halifax, the laws of the Commonwealth, your knowledge and abilities, so help you God?
We also have 3 members being sworn in for the first time. I'd like to ask firefighter Rogers and his son Aiden, firefighter Paul Gallagher, his girlfriend Katie, and firefighter Sean Gunderman is his wife Catherine to come up. As I mentioned earlier, the thing that stood out the most to me was experience. Tonight we have 3 firefighters being sworn in for the first time, but they're certainly not new to public service and public safety. Firefighter Rogers has been the EMT for 15 years. He's been a paramedic for over 11. Prior to coming to Halifax, he was working for Brewster Ambulance, providing 911 in the town of Middleborough, and he was highly recommended by Halifax's former chief, Lance Benjamino. He graduated from the Plymouth County Fire Rescue Training Association back in May and has been with us full-time since May. Congratulations. Aiden will be his son, Aiden. You up to the task?
Chief, do we have to swear them in?
Oh, I'm sorry. I misspoke. I had notes here that said, ask the town clerk. to come up. I missed that. Oh, I was gonna do one at a time. Do one at a time.
I used to have to come to the party and say that it's not Halifax, according to the bylaws of Halifax, the laws of the Commonwealth, and our president, so God.
Aiden, there you go. Next, we have firefighter Paul Gallagher. Paul started as an EMT in 2012 with a private ambulance service. He became a paramedic back in 2015, graduated the Plymouth County Fire and Rescue Training Association Firefighter 1 and 2 program. He previously has served in the town of Plimpton at the rank of fire lieutenant. He is a certified fire instructor and fire officer.
Paul, do you swear to perform the duties of California as a firefighter for the town of Halifax, according to the bylaws of Halifax, the laws of the Commonwealth, your knowledge and abilities, so help you God?
Stick it right in the Congratulations. Finally, we have firefighter Sean Gunderman. Sean has a pretty interesting career in the fire service. He started back in Denville, New Jersey, back in 2008. He's moved around a bit. In 2014, he moved to Dartmouth and became a member of the Dartmouth Fire Department. In 2016, he moved to Sherburne, Mass. and became a member of the Sherburne Fire Department. And then in 2017, he moved into Carver and became a member of the Plumpton Fire Department. Sean has now found his way here to Halifax, and we're proud to have him as a member of the Halifax Fire Department. Congratulations. Coming in tonight is his wife, Catherine. As soon as he gets
Sean, do you swear to perform the duties of California as a firefighter for the town of Halifax, according to the bylaws of Halifax, the laws of the Commonwealth, your knowledge and abilities?
I do.
Congratulations. Next, I'd like to ask firefighter Joseph Basile and his wife Christine to come on. You didn't know you were going to have a job, Christine. For over 30 years, firefighter Basile has exemplified what it means to be a call firefighter. He has worked hard, trained hard, and has made many personal sacrifices to be there when a member of our community is in need. A lifelong resident of our town, firefighter Basile and his family have made great contributions to our department. In fact, he's the great-great-grandson of the first ever Halifax fire chief, Chief Jared Baker, who served from 1909 to 1921. Joe found his love for firefighting while he was in college. He worked for the National Park Service and spent several months fighting wildland fires in Montana and Wyoming. It is upon his return from college where he joined the Halifax Fire Department in 1988. As many of you know, firefighting is not his only public service. It certainly does not end there. In addition to being a firefighter, Joe is a school teacher at the Silver Lake Middle School. He actually told me how amazed he is how many of his students that have gone on to pursue a career in firefighting. Tonight is my pleasure, on behalf of the Massachusetts Fire Service Commission, to award Joseph Basile the 30-year Service Award from the Massachusetts Fire Service Commission. Congratulations. Once again, I'd like to just thank everyone for coming out tonight. We have some refreshments and cake at in the back of the room, and thank you again. Good night.
March 12th, and we did begin our meeting a little earlier upstairs where we did the Pledge of Allegiance and we swore in some new firefighters, and we did some promotions for our Deputy Chief and for our Lieutenant Gibbons, and we want to wish everybody the best, and we're very proud of them, and we're a very lucky town to have such dedicated firefighters that work for our community. So we are being taped by Area 58, which can be viewed on YouTube or on local cable channel 15. And we are here, we'll do the rest of our agenda because we have an appointment at 7:30, right? Is our appointment right at 7:30?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. So we're gonna, we have an appointment with Jean Donahue and Kathleen McLaughlin. So we first want to say thank you so much for being here and willing to participate in the Halifax Fireworks Committee. So if you want to just individually tell us a little bit about yourself and what made you want to.
So I'm Jeannie Donahue. It's nice to meet everyone. And I, so far in my career, have spent much of the time in hospitality and in event production and working with people and very much an organizer. So when I saw that there was a need, I felt like it was, and I've just moved to Halifax
Oh, good.
6 months ago.
Perfect.
So yeah, trying to settle into the community, make some friends.
Awesome.
Yeah, so kind of the pairing of those two things, I felt like it was great to get involved.
Perfect.
I felt like this was a great start.
Awesome.
good.
Don't forget, May 12th is town meeting,
Okay.
and you're gonna love it.
Says the person who's leaving.
No, I love every town meeting, all 30 of them.
Excellent.
I'm Kathleen McLaughlin. I've been a teacher for over 35 years. Different grades. I'm an art teacher.
Oh,
I've done
awesome.
all kinds of fundraisers and everything else.
And what community are you a teacher?
I did Hingham and I did Quincy.
Awesome.
Oh, wow.
I grew up in Quincy. That's awesome.
Yes.
Toughie.
And how long have you been a resident of Halifax?
20 years.
Oh, yay. May 12th.
I've known her for,
Except I would suggest you come May 13th. If they come May 12th, they'll be here very early.
Oh, that's Mother's Day.
Yes.
Oh, well,
May
we could all
12th is
think of
Mother's
that.
Day.
Yeah, that's right. May 13th.
Mother's Day with everything?
Yeah, we can do that. No, I always spend Mother's Day working on town meetings.
I never knew you were an educator.
Huh? That's my secret. Huh?
Yeah, that's just,
I'm retired now. I'm taking care of people.
Oh, that's awesome.
Kudos to you both for volunteering. It's the one area that gets a little more difficult these days, finding volunteers. There was a time, a lot of people had the time to volunteer, and it is a sacrifice. People have to give up parts of their lives to serve on a community, especially in an unpaid position. So thank you both very much for wanting to participate.
Especially for the 4th of July, because that's one of our major family events. I think it sets the tone. You know, not too many communities around here have them, and Halifax does a good job.
And it's not just the fireworks themselves, but I think that family day, the afternoon prior to the fireworks, where there's different activities. And I know the prior committee had tried to bring back the old home day feel, where we brought back the baby contest and the bike contest, decorating contest, and we did baking of cakes. We have discovered over the last couple of years that cakes sometimes melt in the heat, so maybe we should go back to pies. Just a little suggestion.
Well, they were making ice cream cakes. Come on.
But those were fun. Like all of those things just kind of make Halifax as special as it is. It's just a part of being, just enjoying the community and enjoying your neighbors, and it's really a fun day.
That
So thank
small
you.
town feel.
Yeah, it really is.
It's
Yeah.
nostalgic, actually.
Yeah. So, and thank you, Janice, because you got this thing started again. So we really want to thank you
Thank
again
you.
for stepping up. We've had some amazing people that have volunteered over the years, and we're so grateful whenever we think that we don't have a committee that people step forward and really take it on. And so anyway, so I'll entertain a motion to appoint Jeannie Donahue and Kathleen McLaughlin to the Halifax Fireworks Committee with the expiration.
Open-ended.
An expiration date of,
No expiration.
No expiration.
sorry, I'm kind of new at this now.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Kathleen.
Oh, well, I'm just going from my, my,
August 31st, 2021.
yes. And that's not an expiration date, that's when your commission needs to be renewed, but you'll always be renewed. And we typically don't like to give you a year because we want to keep you.
Yeah. Whether you want to stay or not.
So keep your calendar open for the next.
And then we
30
have your address on file and we can come visit. No. So, Troy, did you make that motion?
I did.
And Tom, did you second that?
Hardly second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Thank you again for
Yes,
coming
thank
in.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And may the fireworks go fly.
All right, Tom,
Good seeing you, Kathy.
was everybody able to review the executive session minutes of January 22nd?
Yes.
Yep.
Do I have a motion to approve those?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
All
Aye.
right.
Okay, so Tom, do you want to take it? Oh, actually, before that, does anybody have any additions to the agenda?
I have none.
Okay, Tom, do you want to take it away?
Sure. I move to affirm approval of the following warrants and commitments. Payroll warrant number 78 for $363,321.13. Vendor warrant number 79 for $45,571.54. Withholding warrant number 80 for $131,586.80. School warrant number 81 for $220,466. Ambulance commitment from 2/18/19 to 2/24/19 for $23,758.95. Ambulance commitment from 2/25/19 to 3/3/19 for $48,385.41.
I'll second those.
All those in favor?
Aye. I move to approve the following warrant and commitment. Vendor warrant number 82 for $1,357,159.11. Mobile home park fee number 3 for $5,160.
May I ask what vendor warrant was it? What was that for?
Probably,
Is that probably payroll?
it's the $1 million.
It's probably a payment to
Oh, for
Silver Lake
the-
is my
Yeah.
guess.
So, yeah, right.
Okay.
Yes, the vendors.
Right, which would include Silver Lake.
Yeah, it just never crossed my mind to do that much.
Because I mean, we probably put in about $5 million a year, give or take.
Yeah.
We do it on a quarterly basis.
You ready for the selectmen's bills?
Yes, please.
We are.
Yes. Troy seconded. All those in favor?
I move to approve payment of the selectmen bills dated March 12, 2019. Halifax Historical Society for $447.56.
Right, that's to pay for electricity bill.
Yeah, it doesn't say that.
Well, it's to reimburse them. They made the payments for the electricity.
Oh, okay, wait a minute, it does say it on the right-hand side. Reimbursement of electricity.
Right.
So we're not giving it to them. Is that what you're trying to make sure everybody's clear on, Charlie?
Yes, there's no donation involved. But this was an insurance proceed.
I got it. KP Law for $3,055.11 for professional services. Attorney Lawrence P. Mayo, $1,896.88, also for professional services. Michael C. Gilman Esquire, $539 for professional services. Brooks and Durensis for $5,376.95, also for professional services. And Maya Property and Casualty Group for $1,775.
I completed. I'll second those.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I will abstain from the Maya since I serve on the board. Okay.
All right, that's all I got.
Okey dokey, spadokies. Charlie?
So, Pam, that 745 never happened, right, for Twin Lakes?
We don't have.
They never got an
745.
application.
No, I never did that.
No, so we have the
We,
next.
well, we had tentatively put that on there.
Yeah, then I erased, March. Yeah, then I
Yes.
erased it.
Yeah.
So the next appointment we
Oh,
have
but you
is,
had it in your notes,
Yes.
that why, so, okay, yeah, no, yeah.
Next appointment is 8:15.
Yes.
Will we in fact have that appointment?
No, we're not going to have, I talked to both Senator Brady and State Representative Lenatra. Senator Brady had a funeral go to in Rhode Island, and Representative Lenatra agreed that they should both come in at the same
Oh,
time.
okay.
So I'm trying to set that up for the 26th, so we're out of appointments actually.
oh, that's perfect. I mean, it's not perfect if they're not here,
We'll go home earlier than we
but,
did
you know, and you're
last night.
probably thinking that's why I came, right?
Well, I did want to speak with Kathy, but, you know,
Yeah.
I'll give you the other reason I came.
Oh. That was good.
So let's move things along now. Spring Splash Polar Plunge, the Silver Lake Regional Middle School PTO would like to request access to use the Lincoln Street Beach for that event on May 5th. It's not so much polar, it's really Spring Splash.
Yeah.
Though I suspect the water's going to be pretty cold anyway.
They're gonna clean up behind the ducks down there?
In order to raise funds for the programs that the PTO sponsors, participants, guardians, parents would require to complete a liability waiver, and the PTO will have the police and fire on the site. I'm not sure whether they've contacted departments already about this.
Are you running this, Charlie?
No, I'm not running this.
Oh.
And I already told them I may have a conflict because I may be literally running that day, so depends what time they do that. They did invite the three of you to participate, however.
Thank you, Charlie.
You gotta know how to swim to get in the water.
I think I'm packing.
May 5th, you're not out here yet, sorry.
Come on, I've done a lot of these kinds of things for you people.
The event should run about an hour. I don't see any particular problems with this. I do recommend the board grant a waiver for non-residents to use the beach that day, and the board may wish to forego having the PTO pay for the details, since that would lower the amount that was being raised for their activities.
I would, I think that that's a really nice gesture. I would just want to be able to check with the
Yeah,
police
right.
chief. And I think he'll have some room in his budget in order to accommodate that.
Yeah, I would also like to check with the fire department. They're gonna have EMTs down there.
Well, I think that's their plan, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, thank you for the next subject, because I want to talk to you about this.
I do recommend the board get a copy of the waiver form, ensure that the town's one of the entities that would be not held liable for any incidents. But also, we should notify the park commission, since they tend to, I know it's not a very active commission, but they generally have jurisdiction over the beach. I'd like to make sure they're on board.
Yes, good thinking.
But otherwise, if the board, given those caveats, that the board would vote to approve this.
Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So, the unregistered vehicle permit for Mr. Richard Harrison expired back on January 9th. This is the vehicle that's located at map 73, lot 7A on Plymouth Street.
That no longer has a
That's
fence around it.
exposed to the
Not
elements.
around it, it's just on it.
Well, it's on it, and I did not support this, and I would like to just,
It's time to get it out of there.
So what I'd recommend to the board is that they give him 30 days to remove the
oh,
vehicle.
for all that is holy, really? 30
Then
days?
I'm happy to pick any number, I was just
Pick a day.
being arbitrary.
I'm gonna say 2 weeks.
That's good enough. I'm good with
Okay,
that.
I'll notify him, tell him that he has to have by
Can
the
you vote?
26th.
Yes, please.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Earth removal permit for John Peck. He had dropped off a plan a couple weeks ago showing the remaining material that was going to be removed from the retention ponds that are on the property. He had indicated,
Okay, something you said?
yes, he had indicated that the material that's left there would just be moved to other locations on the property. That still leaves the question that it's more than likely he removed more than 1,000 cubic yards previously from the parcel, and I don't know what the board would like
Well,
to do.
I guess my problem is how do we prove
Well,
or
I think-
verify that in fact?
Well, I think in
that we-
fact in his conversations with the board, he indicated that.
Then it begs the question, how many yards?
Right.
How do we make any determination of any of that?
The dirt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, I mean, if he just leaves the rest of the stuff on the lot, I don't see how we could pursue it and verify anything.
Because we have no records of really what
Right.
was, we don't even know what to find. I mean, we could find, but we don't have proof that there was the dirt removed.
Right, we have witnesses who say that they saw trucks, leaving the property. Obviously, Rob and I went down there months ago, and once we were down there, the operation halted, but we don't have an exact amount that was removed from the,
But it stopped the bad.
Yes.
Well, no, I should take it.
If in fact the board does vote, to allow him to continue working on his property, I think we need to send a letter to him explaining very distinctly that at any time anything goes off that property, even if it's one load, he won't be renewed.
I mean, when we met with him, he did come in during the day, during a meeting, remember? He did meet with us, and I think he sort of had halted things, right?
yes. We had not had any other complaints since Rob and I went down there.
Yeah.
But he himself said that it was likely he had removed more than 1,000 cubic yards, which is the magic number, from the property before that.
Okay.
If the board wants, in essence, say, because, even though he admitted we don't have an exact amount, that, in essence, I think Troy's suggestion, which is basically, you don't get another pass on this in the sense of, if you just want to go out with a truckload, no. Any more material that's removed from the property, period, 1 cubic yard,
Yeah.
you're going to
No,
need
I
the permit.
think
But I
that's,
forgot that he had admitted to
Yes,
1,000
right.
yards, so let's think about that. If we want to be consistent, and he's willing to admit that, yeah, I removed 1,000 yards, perhaps he has to pay the fee for whatever that was.
there is no fee for 1,000 yards.
No?
Anything under 1,000, you don't need a fee. Anything
Oh.
over 1,000, you
So we
do.
don't know if there's 1,000
Well,
more. He just-
again, he admitted, I think.
Yeah, no, yeah, but now, where do we
We don't know
do we
the
set an
amount.
arbitrary number?
Yeah.
or
Right.
Right.
I'm not trying to give him a pass,
No, I
I'm just trying
understand
to be
that.
realistic
Yeah.
here.
And you can say, well, we wanted the truck records, the slips from wherever you brought, but there may not even be any slips.
I don't think it was that type
Yes,
of
right.
operation.
What would it be if it was over 1,000?
Well, I think we charge 25 cents.
25 cents
Per cubic yard, yeah, exactly. So even,
I mean, we can pick an arbitrary number of 1,000 yards or
We
something.
could pick an arbitrary number, but the fact is this something that we want to pursue? Is this going to benefit the town, or because we've dealt with other issues which have allowed people?
We have done that without going back and doing the fee.
Yeah,
Because I just want to be consistent,
but
like-
the reason being is most people put down a certain sum of money or a banknote saying that if they went over the person's property, that they would have something we could renovate from it.
I just don't want the appearance that we're Mr.
Giving
Peck
somebody
also
a
serves
break.
on our
And then
conservation
if you wanted to,
commission,
for instance, if you wanted to say it's 2,000 yards that he removed,
But he only admitted to 1,000.
well, he admitted that he
went
took
over
off
1,000.
more than 1,000. Because if he had said 900, for instance, there's no permit needed. At 1,000, you start needing the permit.
Okay, so what I would say to him, because he was honest, he could have just said that he did under 900. I mean, right? So can we have the conversation and say, Mr. Peck, we would like to be able to put things right. We need to know the amount of which you're removed, and then we can charge him the fee.
I think that sounds good, Kim. I don't think anybody knows how many yards he took.
No, I know, but we have to go on at this point. He could say he could have said 900. And I know Mr. Peck, he's a nice man. I'm sure he would just give us an amount because we can't prove it. And but if we just go, oh, we can't prove it, we shouldn't do anything, then I just don't want it to come back to us that I don't know.
I totally hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I'm totally willing to listen to a yardage figure that if you'd like to use.
Yes, could we just go back to Mr. Peck and say,
What do you think you took
Yes.
out?
yes.
I mean, that's really what
And then we'd like
you're
to have
saying.
you pay
The
whatever
appropriate
the
fee.
appropriate fee is, because we need to keep things consistent within the community, and that's,
fair enough.
he may say 900.
Well, no. He won't, well, he already
I don't
admitted
think
that he
he would. Yeah.
removed more than 1,000
Yeah.
yards. Okay, I will do that per the board's
Thank you.
direction.
Thank you.
Trucks and speeding on Walnut Street. The police chief had received a complaint from a resident about truck traffic and speeding on Walnut. Traffic on the road's been a problem obviously for a
Yes.
number of years because it's a pass-through for trucks coming out of Bridgewater and going down to Middleborough. We can't do anything to limit the amount of truck traffic because we've tried that. Bridgewater won't agree to the diversion that we were thinking about. We can't enforce the speed limit, but in fact what happened is the police chief went down there himself in an unmarked cruiser, and the minute he was down there, all the truckers told everybody else, hey, there's a guy down there, and they all slowed down. They were going so slow, it was obvious that the word had gotten around.
Yeah.
Should have gave him a ticket for impeding the traffic flow.
So he is looking at the possibility of, again, working with the state police and MassDOT for about truck weight enforcement and such. So he's aware of the problem. I provide a little bit of history, obviously, not knowing beforehand. But now he has more information
Well,
about
we're
what's
leaving
going
it in
on
his
there.
capable hands.
Yeah.
And
Right.
There's nothing we can do about it at this point.
Steve Hayward and Susan Johnson had proposed a contract with a firm called Simple Recycling for curbside pickup of materials, some of which could be recycled, such as the cloths and fabrics and things like that. And for solid waste, there are some appliances and such that would be put in specially marked bins. It would divert materials from both waste streams. Simple Recycling would pay a token amount, a penny per pound, to the town. I've sent this to town council for review and submitted the revisions to Steve and Susan for their review in order for them to send it to Simple Recycling. I will ask them to come in once the draft contract's been approved by the parties in order to explain this to the board more. Because it's going to, I don't want to say it's an overly complicated process, but now we'll end up, in essence, having another bin that people can put out. And I do have some worries that the firm is clear, we'll take these things, we won't take these things, and then what happens to the items that are in the bin and they won't take? Do they just leave them on the side of the road? What happens? So,
I mean, we can't get a letter of certainty as to what they will take.
oh yeah,
won't take,
no,
so
it's
we
all
can-
in the proposed contract.
But what he's
But I
saying
would-
is if people go ahead and just
People go ahead and throw
Yes.
anything into it.
Right,
Okay.
exactly. And they'll do publicity and everything like that, but what I'm waiting for now is simply for the contract to come to a final form. Once it does, I'll have Steve and Susan come in and meet with you all about this.
Okay.
The gas tank project over the highway garage is moving along. The underground gas tank should be removed this week.
Okay.
I believe they got a diesel, above ground, small diesel tank there for refuel, but they're saying for gasoline, they're sending anybody down to the mobile station. And working that process of getting the slips and such, so work's happening on that. Website project, the draft agreement's bouncing between town council and Civic Plus, so I'm waiting for the final version for that. I have two things in the fire suppression system. One is that Paul J. Rogan, who's the GC, is in contact with the staff at the elementary school about site visits. I don't expect, given my conversation with him, that any work's going to get done during that April vacation week. Obviously, they can scout around the school and take a much better look at it with the students not there.
Measure for materials.
But we did lose one work day because of the snowstorm last week. We're just hoping we won't have that happen again. I do have a contract to sign later on as I get through my notes.
Okay.
Town moderator, town meeting discussion. Town moderator Dennis Carmen would like to meet with the interested parties about the town meeting process. He'd just like to see, I guess, a more civil discussion, maybe pre-town meeting and during the town meeting.
Sure.
And such.
Oh, that's a great idea.
And, maybe one of the 2 meetings in April, we could set something up
Yes,
for that.
because we need to set the appointment that we just go over the warrant, and perhaps that would be a good,
Usually we do going over the warrant maybe the week before
Yes.
town meeting, and I think maybe we're talking this discussion maybe a little bit earlier. than
Okay,
that.
perfect.
So either on the 9th or the 23rd of April.
yeah, no, I think that's a
That's
really
good.
great idea, because then, yeah, he's doing a great job,
Yeah.
he's new, and so,
On the mailbox kiosk, the planning board did contact the Halifax post office about the issue, and my understanding is the post office wasn't very helpful in response.
Did you get my email?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
So what I'd like to do is take a swing or contact the post office myself. Maybe getting a letter from myself or the selectmen would help start the conversation a little bit better. If I don't make any progress with the post office, I'll try Congressman Keating's office, and see if they can at least bring somebody to the table to explain more about this.
Right.
We've already talked about Senator Brady and Representative Natra. My hope is they'll be here 2 weeks from now, the 26th. I contacted both of them, and tentatively everything's set up for the same time next week at 8:15. We've already done the Halifax fireworks. Just on the marijuana front, I had a firm called Mass Kansas ask about a host community agreement. I provided the information about Halifax. They didn't mention a site. They didn't mention what activity they wanted to engage in. So I don't know if that's just they're calling all 351 cities and towns for all I know.
Did we ever hear anything from the Four Daughters or
So
the
the
company that bought them out?
No, since that happened, was about a month and a half ago.
and crickets.
Yeah, 0. 407 South Street, this was one of the properties that we took through foreclosure. It's the only one that had a building on it. The building committee staff had boarded up the building. The fire department's placed a no rescue sign on the property. I'm going to go down myself to see if there's any immediate work that needs to be done other than what Scott Materney and his crew already done. A resident did contact the selectman's office to say the town should have given the occupant additional time to move out, even though I think, given what I understand to be the person's living conditions down there, including a dirt floor, wherever he's living now down in Middleborough has to be a superior.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that same person would be complaining if that building collapsed around them while he was still in
Or
it,
if it
because
wasn't
it's in that
safe,
kind
yeah.
of condition.
Right. Given what I've been hearing, there's no, I don't know what we'll end up doing with the property, but I don't see any point in keeping the building one way. I'm not saying we should spend money demolishing it, but if someone buys it a few months from now, if we go out to bid and such to sell it,
Well, there's still the year of redemption.
yes, right, and we're waiting for that.
Yeah, so, you know,
I have no immediate plans until
Right.
late this fall.
Right.
I would say we keep it up, shore it up if we have to, until at least the year's up.
Chapter 90 allocation, if the legislation passes, the amount for 2020 will be $269,350. It's really no change from this current year. I'll have an article presented at town meeting, assuming the legislature approves the legislation by the 13th. Wheels Park sign. The Holly family installed a new sign at the Gordon J. Riker Wheels Park last week. I'd like the board to send a letter thanking them for the donation
Yeah,
of the sign.
I went down to see it. It's very,
I think I had already sent, I'm gonna double check, I think I already sent him a sign.
You may have, but I think they just put it up in the last week. They may have,
Okay.
I think they had mentioned donating the
Right,
sign, and they
I think
showed us the
we-
sign. but they actually put it up.
tastefully done, and the information they have on it is right on.
It's nice to hear his name again.
Yeah.
He was really such a nice boy.
On the Green Apples solar fields on Franklin Street, the pilot agreement, we have that ready
Oh.
to sign. There are, having talked to council and to Rob, there may be some zoning issues, not about solar itself, but in terms of frontage and access to the property and such, but that doesn't preclude doing the solar, the pilot agreement. So if the board would, in this case, it would be just Kim's signature on this.
So
Would
moved.
approve having Kim sign both copies.
All those in favor?
Right.
Municipal vulnerability grant, I'm looking for a letter of support from the board for an application for this program. Initially, it's for planning, but then implementation of projects to lessen the vulnerability of buildings, public works, and utilities in Halifax.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
That can be signed by everybody. Will Corey, our veterans agent, had forwarded me a note from Jake Olivier. He's an Eagle Scout candidate for Troop 39, and he had been talking with Will about putting a Veterans Care Package drop box here at Town Hall,
Yes.
possibly next to where the flag drop-off is, or some other suitable location. What I'd like to do is, if the board wants, to invite him in. I know he may not be ready yet to make a full proposal to the board, but I would tell him that, the board's interested, and once he's has something to bring, that he could come in and meet with the board about this, and I'll tell Will the same.
Well, I think more than anything, I'd like to know what type of items you're talking about dropping off. Is we talking clothing, large
find out.
items?
Sure, we'll find that out too.
Because that'll determine just how big the box is going to be, and whether that is something we want to put.
Inmate work crews for litter pickup. Given all the discussion we've had about litter.
Yes,
on
we
the
had them
streets.
last year, and it was great.
Yeah, a couple of years ago we did.
Yeah.
And the only thing was we had to feed them lunch, which was fine. I think that's reasonable. But if the board would like, I can send a note to the sheriff's office asking if they had any availability for this coming year.
That's great.
Sure.
I would definitely do that, and I would double check with Sandy to make sure we can pay to
I think we were
buy
able to
them
do
lunch.
that.
I think we could.
Yeah, because I think we did. So,
Yeah, I don't know where it would come.
yeah, well, I'll check, but
Yeah.
I'll find out.
I mean, I
So
can make
if
sandwiches.
if the board's okay, I will get a note out to the sheriff's office.
So
You can make
moved.
sandwiches.
Thanks. You won't be here.
You don't want to.
Generation,
Karen, move.
No sandwich for you.
I moved it.
I know.
Oh, all those in favor?
Generations would like to have the ability to put up a temporary sign for about 3 or 4 days before they hold an event. They would like to put the sign up over at the Council on Aging. It would look, I'll pass this down. Rob had written that he's in.
Charlie, did you read the
I
sign?
didn't read the sign. Yeah. Yeah, it's advertising itself.
I know, but anyway.
Rob is fine, though, that they will need a sign permit through the building inspector's office, and they just need to make sure that they meet the requirements for temporary signs in the bylaw.
It says swinger. I mean,
I think it's the
I
name
don't
brand
think
of
we
the
want a
sign.
sign that says
It's
swinger.
not so much as
In front
the
of the Council on
swinger.
Aging.
It says think big. I like it.
Oh, no, yeah.
If that would be okay with the board?
As long as they get a permit.
Yes.
Do they have to pay for the permit?
No.
Okay.
I will say.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Right.
I do need the board to affirm a road opening permit for Pine Street so that Northern Drill could put in the borings as
And we
part
are-
of the
So
engineering.
it's just a permit, because we already
Yes,
signed it.
right.
Okay, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Right.
I need the board to affirm my approval for the project request from Lambrian, number 15 for $1,803.87, number 16 for $2,515.08, and number 17 for $4,887.04.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Right.
Joan Pierce had written
Oh, we love Joan.
a progress report about parcel 10A
Yes.
over Aldana Road. The state is still interested in purchasing it for up to $150,000, depending on the actual appraisal value. If funds aren't available in 19, they're committed to purchasing in 20. I do have a note into the county administrator, who's on vacation this week, and last week, about this county's interest, because I believe it says something like the town of Halifax and the inhabitants of Plymouth County. So Plymouth County has a share of interest in it, so we're going to need the county to be in on this too.
Okay.
But at this point, I'm waiting to hear back from the county, so that's where that stands right now. Let's see, we have an end-of-year report from Solitude for the
Yes.
treatment that they did
Thank
for
you for
West
sending that to
Monpont.
me.
Sure. Signature authority forms for payroll and payment for the bills and payroll for the animal control and police department for
Why
the
are we
board to
doing
sign
that?
off.
That's a little different.
Well, usually we do it during the beginning
Oh,
of
it's
the
the, oh, yeah, okay.
Beginning of the year.
All right. Oh, it's the new chief, right, okay.
Just so the board's aware, for Hops Playground, we did receive one quote from Util Play via the state contract, so the community build is scheduled, I believe, for next
Yes.
month.
So let me give you the dates. Do you mind, can I
Sure.
pause
Yeah.
you for a second?
Publicize.
So this is going to be a community build, and we're looking for anybody to help. But if you have some kind of construction ability, that is super appreciated. So the hops build starts at 8 a.m. on Saturday, April 13th, and it should end sometime in the early evening. And we're also scheduled for the next day, Sunday, April 14th, again at 8 a.m. The Hops put out a sign-up sheet, so if you go on Facebook, I know that they shared it on the Halifax community page, and you just click it, and there's where you can sign up. We're looking for as many people as we can. And even if you don't have any construction ability and that you can't lift things or do anything like that, just to be there to help with giving somebody water or direction. Like, we can use how many people that we can get to sort of help with this. And remember that the last time we did it, it was a community build, and this community has helped raise the money. You know, this has been a real community effort, so it's going to be extra special to have everybody together and actually building it. And every time you drive by, you get to look at it and say, I built that. So please come on down and please sign up. Thank you.
Let's see, access to fire department property. Partner Engineering and Science, on behalf of its client, who's the owner of the 416 through 434 Plymouth Street building, which is next door, 2 doors away from the fire department. It asks access to the fire station property in order to install a groundwater monitoring well and collect groundwater samples in connection with the detection of chemicals on the client's property. The fire chief does know about this. In fact, he met with a representative from Partner Engineering today. They want to put one well in the way back.
That's a swamp.
Well, close, not quite, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. But it's not in the swampland behind it's still on non-swampland. Well, that's what this is what the fire chief described.
Let's just say they wouldn't have to dig very far to get to the water.
Supposedly it's about 30 feet down.
This isn't probably in connection with that pole that went down.
No, this is the dry cleaners.
Oh, okay.
They're specifically right in the water.
It could be 30 feet, because I just found out today that my house is 75 feet above sea level.
Yeah, I mean, they're saying environmental investigation or release to groundwater and soil from a dry cleaner formerly located at the Halifax Plaza.
I don't think he did dry cleaning there. But okay.
He did. So when I first moved here, I used to go to the laundromat.
He used to ship the stuff out. I never thought he did it on property.
Oh, he did it on.
He had a
really?
laundromat.
He had a laundromat, but the cleaning, I thought, was shipped off.
All I can tell you is that's what this letter
Yeah, no,
thinks.
that's fine. That's probably what they think, and they're going for the worst case.
Yeah. So, the chief's agreeable to this. It's a very small tube. I think it's only a few inches wide.
They just drive it in.
Right, and it'll be about, I think, a foot or two above ground. They'll put a cone on it to make sure nobody drives into or anything like that. I did send this to Attorney Mayo for review, and then I think we'll get comments back to Partner for any changes in the proposed agreement, and we'll see where things go. So my hope is I'll bring this back in a couple weeks to the board.
Okay.
Let's see, reuse of police cruiser. Scott Returns asked about the availability of having one of the police cruisers that would normally be traded in, given to the municipal and school building committee. I'd be happy to set up any discussion for the interested parties on that. I'm not saying that we should do it, I just think we should discuss it.
When we were at finance last night, it was the first time that I had heard about the request. It hadn't really come through the capital planning committee at all. And I know that you had talked about use of the leftover cruiser for another purpose, so I think we do all need to sort of sit in a room and figure out what the best use of that vehicle.
Do they really,
do they
really need it?
Especially for inspectional services, we're the only people that are required to go out in their own vehicles on town business. And we don't even cover any of the deductibles or anything on their vehicles. I just don't think it's right.
Yeah, no, and I know that you had brought it up a few months ago, and I think it's definitely something to look at. I know that the last time we brought it to town meeting, it was kind of not well received, but I think that if we came up with a plan with a vehicle that we know is going to last, because I think the last vehicle was on its last
tire.
Yeah, and the vehicle
wasn't a safe vehicle.
Would stay here. I mean, he's taking it home.
Yeah. So I don't know why, I know Scott just got a couple of new trucks, so I don't think he wants the vehicle to replace anything.
No,
I
he
think
wants
it would be an addition.
Yes.
So, I do think that we all need to sort of sit down and figure out what the best use of that
Let me
vehicle
see if I can
is.
set it for the 26th then.
Yeah.
Okay,
That would be good.
thank you.
We had a letter from Linda Cole. She was writing on behalf of the Project 351. It's a group originally established by Governor Deval Patrick in order to unify the Commonwealth by having 8th grade representatives from every city and town dedicate a year of service to their community. As part of this, the representative in Hanson is Noah Roberts, and she thinks highly of him. He's currently heading up a drive for Cradles of Crayons. This is the annual spring project for the Project 351 ambassadors, and he's collecting new or gently worn clothing for donation to families in need. There's still a supply of t-shirts downstairs from the 275th anniversary 10 years ago. And she's asking if the town would be willing to donate the t-shirts to Noah as part of the drive.
Do we have a motion to donate the shirts?
How many shirts are there?
I do not know.
And what did they say on?
275th
That's it?
anniversary Halifax.
I mean, that's fine.
I don't mind donating. I'd much rather see them sell the t-shirts to people in town and donate the money.
How many shirts? We don't know how many shirts.
Yeah.
No,
Can we table it until we
Sure.
get some more
I can
information?
find out, yeah. Okay. Let's see, special permit and zoning use for 280 South Street. This was before the zoning board of appeals last night. This is for an expansion of the uses that are on the property right now. Generally, it's been more of a composting and mulching operation.
Yes.
And my understanding is they now want to do some lumber processing, wood processing and such on the property, possibly bringing materials in.
And it's zoned
Cultural
agricultural?
residential, right?
Okay, so
That's
then
like
that's,
manufacturing.
yeah, here we go.
Well,
Why
there's
are
a-
we getting so many of these subjects?
So, well, there are a number of questions about this. I had sent them a note last night before the meeting, strongly recommending that they consult with land use council because there's questions on jurisdiction. There's also questions on if they are going to be approving any sort of special permit, is a special permit allowed in that district for this type of operation? So I'm going to follow up. I know that they'll send a note to council, but I'm going to
So
contact
they want to
council.
start a lumber company on the property?
They're,
Well, if they're going to be
Some of some
processing,
sort,
if they're going to be cutting the sawmills and cutting breaks up, it's
Yeah.
a lumber company.
I don't know if they're
That's how I hear it.
I don't know if they're gonna do a retail operation or if it's just gonna be processing there, but yeah, they're planning on doing something down there. So I'm gonna follow up with council first, and I'll keep the board apprised of what the ZBA is doing on this.
Thank you.
Let's see, so the other matter on the fire suppression system, I have 2 copies of the contract with Paul J. Rogan who's a GC for the fire suppression project over the elementary school. The contract got set up, not that I really wanted to be the person signing it, but that's how it says. It's
Oh,
for me to
wow,
sign.
Charlie.
So if the board would approve having me sign the copies on
So
behalf of the
moved.
town.
Second.
All those in favor?
All right.
Aye. Blame Charlie.
I'll go out there where, next September and put a match to it and we'll see if it works. That's my job. On the law count, there's no action for the board to take other than I wanted to tell the board that we are basically down to zero, just down a couple of $1,000s left. And that's with 4 months to go. We have spent a considerable amount of money on a particular land use case, not Mudfest, that's another one.
Okay.
And that's a major reason why we've depleted the funds so quickly. I am asking for an increase in this line item for fiscal '20, just because we have now, for the last 2 years, run out of money
Yes.
fairly early on. I am going to be having to go to the Finance Committee for a series of reserve fund transfers, starting with the March bills, and then I'll probably do some combination of that and line item transfers the rest of the year.
I do see that we have one other item, which is a live entertainment.
Yep.
And so we have a request from Jane Williamson for 19 White Island Road for Saturday, August 3rd, for a birthday summer party. There'll be a 4-piece band. It's going to have an hours of entertainment from 6 to 9. And Jane Williamson, the homeowner, I'm assuming will be sober and in charge.
Yep.
We have a very large yard and driveway, and also neighbors have offered their driveways for parking. No catering. The
This is
police
White
chief is
Island.
okay, yeah, the police chief is okay, and so is the fire chief. don't think
White
we've ever
Island
done
Road, what kind of parking spaces you gonna
Yeah,
have
that's-
over there?
that's
She just said that she has, her
Because
her driveway's
that
pretty
would be my
big.
concern. I
And
don't have a
that the
problem
neighbors
with it.
have offered their driveways for parking.
She says she has a very large yard. I don't know what the house, I can see the house.
I
Well,
bet you it's the yard that faces like,
I'm wondering that too.
If it's one of the yards
Yeah.
that faces Mount Ponset, you could park a
Yeah.
lot of cars in front of it.
Yeah, in front of the house.
But I don't know where.
What was the last name again?
Williamson. I don't know that we've ever approved one for this address. This doesn't sound familiar, but, I mean, you know, we have, it's up to you guys.
My only concern would be the parking. I would like to consult with the police, passed it by the police chief.
Well, he approved it,
So, well, then,
and so did the fire chief.
from what hours are we talking about?
We're
6 to 9.
9. So,
I would move it.
have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Sign?
Pam, I think that's all we have, right?
Other than going into executive session.
Yeah.
And then sign a card, yep.
Yep. Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session in order to talk about the following contracts. Sergeants, patrol officers, highway, firefighters, police chief, and town administrator, and we will not be back in public except to adjourn. So, do I have a motion?
Move.
Second.
Tom,
Yes.
Troy,
Yes.
Kim, yes. Good night, everybody.